Can Asim, you go ahead quickly, and then Anwar.
When I hear you speak, Secretary of State, it again seems to be a situation where you think the issue is about lack of communication. I think the fact that you want to turn a page through more aggressive communication, and the speech that you gave at USIP recently, where you talked of needing to be more dealing with propaganda, disinformation and misinformation in Pakistan. I wonder how will we make the breakthrough, because while this bill is very crucial, very important, and I mean, we know this relationship is equally important for you as it is for us. And when you talk about take the money or don't take the money, I think that we're obviously dealing with a more complex situation. Pakistan is an ally in war on terror as far as the United States is concerned, and without Pakistan you cannot move forward on that. There's no doubt about it. Those are the facts. So obviously you need Pakistan, and for us this relationship is important. But there is, as you've heard everybody talk just now, there is a fundamental issue of divergence in terms of policies also. Just the bill itself, it's not a question of intent. One of the portions in the bill, it talks about a comprehensive regional security strategy, where the President will develop a interagency regional strategy to eliminate terrorist threats and close safe havens in Pakistan, including by working with the government of Pakistan and other relevant governments and organizations in the region and elsewhere as appropriate to best implement effective counterinsurgency and counterterrorism efforts in and near the border areas of Pakistan and Afghanistan, including FATA, NWFP, parts of Balochistan and parts of Punjab. When I read this bill, it seems that the policy really is of the United States that Pakistan is really the hub of the problem. Although, when you look at the issue of terrorism, and if United States is serious about the problem, then there are issues inside Afghanistan beyond just the border. There are issues inside India, which your own president during his election campaign referred to. But when you actually move towards policy, it's like tightening the screws on Pakistan, just looking at it's Pakistan specific. And when you talk of the president talking to countries, to governments in the region, certainly we're not talking of Colombia or Bolivia, we are talking of India and Afghanistan. So the question is, to what extent does the government in the United States, Obama administration, understand the issues of security that Pakistan is facing? I think this whole emphasis on what Pakistan can do and where Pakistan's ISI is involved or not involved, do you see what's happening in our own country? Today we've had 70 people who've died. So I think that you need to really look at some of the policy issues that are involved. And when I hear you speak, it seems like just issues of perception.
Well, first, I am deeply sorry for the losses yet again today in the bombing, and regret that the terrorists continue to target innocent people. But I have to go back to this point, and I think this will probably require a much longer discussion than we have on this program. But in what you just read, it is also the policy of Pakistan, as it has been explained to us going back 8 years now, that you too are worried about what's happening on your border. You too are worried about what's going on in Afghanistan. But the bill only has money for Pakistan. So you see what I mean? That's where the confusion, I think, lies. I mean, this is not a bill to provide civilian aid, to offer services to a bunch of countries. This is a bill just for Pakistan. And when we gave money to Colombia, you would see the same kind of language when we give money to other countries. So I regret that what we thought, and this has been going on for years, I mean, the Pakistani press has covered this before. We have worked on this for years. We've had consultation for years. And I regret that somehow in all that time, these problems were not recognized by any of us, because that was certainly not the intent. With respect to what I said about the media, which, in a democracy, those of us in public office, we get to criticize you and you get to criticize us.
Sure.
That's part of how it
Yeah,
works.
fair enough.
But take the example of the story that wouldn't die, that we were on this complex somewhere building a secret barracks for 1,000 Marines. Untrue. Totally untrue. We have a contingent of Marines at this embassy like we have at every embassy in the world that is a small group of Marines who provide frontline defense at our embassy. And we kept saying, it's not true. But it was the story that wouldn't die. That's frustrating for us because when we have legitimate disagreements, as we do over what the meaning of this legislation is, not what the motivation or the intent is, but how it's being interpreted, that's perfectly legitimate. And as you know, Senator Kerry and Congressman Berman, gave a clarifying statement, put information into the congressional record to try to make clear what this meant. So we have really tried to understand and respond to the concerns that have been expressed. That's a legitimate debate. And you have every right to say, well, what does this mean, and how does it affect us, and will it impinge on our sovereignty? And we say, not under our law, not under our intention. But the 1,000 Marine story, that's the kind of thing that sort of poisons the well.
Secretary of State, Pakistan's concerns on Balochistan and Afghanistan plus India and the issues that have been raised time and again by Pakistan, security concerns. When you talk of security concerns of India, you talk of security concerns of Afghanistan, we do not hear from Washington an acknowledgement of the genuine security concerns of Pakistan.
Well, I am very sorry because I cannot tell you how many times that has been discussed, both publicly and privately. We put together a trilateral commission of Afghanistan and Pakistan. We've had 2 meetings in Washington where General Kiani came, where General Pasha came, where we spent enormous amounts of time going over the security concerns of Pakistan, pointing at the Afghans, pointing at ourselves and saying, what are we going to do to help Pakistan? All this money that you refer to that we've given over the last 8 years, it was predominantly for security. It was military equipment. It was other kinds of technology that would assist you in defending yourselves. So that's why I'm here, because I want to clear the air. And I really appreciate all of you raising the questions that are kind of on the back of everybody's mind. Because we're not going to agree on everything, but I don't want us to have any misunderstanding about where we do agree. Yes, we are committed to Pakistan's security. We have spent an enormous amount of money helping you with your security. And we stand ready to do even more, but we're not going to impose ourselves. It is up to the people and government of Pakistan to ask what they need from us, and then we try where we can to respond.